So we want to start with chants before we bring up our speakers and our MC Taha. So I'm going to lead and if you follow. Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine!
Unfortunately, even though we are here at the river to see the boat actually is not coming. However, we do have the captain here to speak to us. The boat, due to some weather difficulties, the boat is not coming. More importantly, today actually commemorates the 14-year anniversary of the Mavi Marmara, that one. Mavi Marmara, and basically that was also another Freedom Fortilla vessel that was violently attacked.
I thought I might have to give you an explanation of why the boat isn't here, but the weather's doing it for us. If you have any doubt, imagine yourself in the middle of the English Channel, in the middle of the night, in the middle of your night watch, in an elderly wooden boat. We looked at the weather and we thought we just can't risk that. So I'm sorry, you have me instead. No boat. And you've worked so hard to see the boat, and you deserve to see the boat, and you want to see the boat, and here I am without a boat for you. And at times like this, and there have been others in the past, I have simply thought of what my elderly Palestinian friend would say to me. In this case, he would say, well, your little boat didn't get to London. And before I could answer, I'll try again, he would say, you're going to try again. You're going to get that little boat up the Thames right to Westminster where this disaster was designed. And he thinks big and he will say, you're going to get that little boat right up the Potomac and you're going to anchor it opposite the Lincoln Memorial where those timid old men hiding behind their walnut desks are writing checks hoping this one will work, this one will work, when they don't realize that war does not work. As we travel through Europe, as we do in these boats, we have a lot of conversations. We have big ones, and middle-sized ones, and small ones. And the big ones, of course, are about global politics and economics and possible futures. And the middle-sized ones are with people like yourselves about what do we do next? How do we make this work? How do we get that part for the motor that's not ticking over? And how do we fix the electrics? But it's the tiny conversations that are kind of interesting. I want to tell you about one I had the other day. They usually happen on the dock when some character comes along looking a little bit quizzical and skeptical, and he looks at the boat, and I see him roll his eyes and maybe shake his head gently, and we get into a conversation, and we have what I call the know-it-all tango, where we compare what we each know about Palestine, Israel, because we all know everything, of course. But finally we arrive at an understanding, an agreement of the depth of this particular genocide at this particular time, the unimaginable horror of this happening in our lifetimes. And we agree on the legalities, and we agree on the necessity to fix it. And then he looked at the boat again and he said, I don't see how this is going to work. I just don't see it. And I said to him, it's working right now. How? How is that? I said, because you and I are talking. And as we talk, I know you're wondering, not should this end, but how will it end? And he said, well, I don't know. I have no idea what I could do. And I said, I don't have any idea what you could do either, but I know you're going to figure it out. And as a friend of mine says, you threaten with one arm and you embrace with the other. So how many boats do we need? How many Handalas? 10? 100 Handalas? You know that there are centers of power of the empire on seashores and on riverbanks and on lakes even, and there are stretches of water everywhere in the world where there are always boats, many boats, and every boat has a flagpole, and every flagpole can have a Palestinian flag that we can take to those capitals of power, those financial and political and cultural centers of power, and have those conversations face to face, heart to heart. Now, that takes money. You knew I'd say this, and I know that so many of you here have given money, and more importantly, you've given your time and your expertise, and you've stayed up late for those video meetings, and you've helped in every way you can. And I'm hoping that there are new people here who are new to this just because of the scope of this disaster, who will want to help. And I know that they'll contribute a little. But more important, I know that they'll wonder how they can become personally involved, how they can help out themselves, so that they'll be able to say, yes, it happened, but I worked hard to stop it, and we did stop it. And they don't really know how they're going to do that, and I don't know either, but I know you'll figure it out. Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Happy to. My name is John Turnbull. I'm a Canadian from both Toronto and Western Canada, Vancouver. I'm here in London, partly to apologize for the lack of a boat, which is across the English Channel in Rotterdam, getting a little attention while we're waiting for the weather to break. It has not been safe to be in the English Channel at night in an elderly boat with this particular weather. So we're being cautious and careful as we make our way around Europe toward Gaza. The boat itself is a former Norwegian trawler, a fishing boat. It's 24 meters long. It can carry 12 to 14 people if they know each other well. It's uncomfortable. It's a little bit dangerous to work on in rolling weather. It has a trusty old diesel engine that chugs away through day and night. And it's kind of fun to drive it. I wish everybody could get a chance. It doesn't carry very much cargo, and that's a question we're asked very often. And I want to say that cargo and medical aid and food is not actually the problem. It's not actually the problem we're trying to solve. Many partners in the world, the Turkish boat, for example, recently, has delivered more than 5,000 tons of aid to El Arish in Egypt. And the problem is not the aid. The problem is that the IDF, the Israeli government, will not allow that aid into Gaza in any quantities that are even practical. So the question is not aid. The question is, why can't Gazans have their state, have their own economy, sail out, sail in, fly here and there as we do, meet us, talk to us? Why can't they be a sovereign place just like Israel? That's why we want to break the siege. We want to free that prison. Well, every time we do this, we get closer and closer. We annoy enough politicians. We occupy enough bureaucrats in the various foreign ministries to deal with us when we're taken to jail in Israel. We worry enough navies. We frighten enough Zionists. Every time we do this, it grows. And we've been doing this since 2007, when the very first boat, an Israeli boat, with some dissident Jews aboard, tried to sail to Gaza and actually almost succeeded. Every time we do it, it gets bigger. And it's frustrating sometimes. We run into problems like the weather, and we need a little money, and things break and we fix them, and plans are delayed. But every time we do it, it becomes a bigger project. And you can see for yourself, the gathering here is bigger than it was last time, and it will be bigger next year. We'll keep doing it until Palestine is free.